Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Good morning, Joan of Arc. Yeah. My name is Julie Madden. I'm on staff here at St. John's, and it is my pleasure to welcome you wherever you are on your journey. Our scriptures, our music today really lead us to reflect on gratitude, which is sometimes difficult in dark days for our church and our country. And so today, we as St. Joan of Arc express our gratitude to women religious for living a model of service and leadership that benefits and shows an example to all of us as a church and as a nation. We thank God for the nuns. Yeah, I thought we would. And today we thank parishioner Don Hall, who introduced us to Sister Irene O'Neill. Sister Irene is a sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet, and she is the founder and director of Sisters Rising Worldwide, based here in St. Paul. And she will tell you exactly how many sisters around the world are being connected through this project to unite and amplify their voices for justice and equity based on the authority of the work they are doing in communities around the world. So, will you please welcome feminist, social justice warrior, rollerblader, and philosopher, Sister Irene O'Neill.
I love that. Good morning, St. Joan of Arc.
Good morning.
You make me smile, and you are my people. All of us who take life seriously make a sacred commitment, and we give our lives in some way to make the world better. Our sacred commitments drive what we do and how we be in the world. I caught this fire at the University of Minnesota. Yay! When I was an undergraduate taking classes at the U of M, I had a class called Teaching Teachers How to Teach Drama. The teacher of the class was from the College of St. Catherine's, Sister Peggy O'Connell. CSJ, anybody know Sister Peggy? I caught on very early in class that Sister Peggy was really teaching children and teachers how to cherish the person that they are. It was at that moment that I became infected with the CSJ charism. Now, can I make an assumption that you all have heard of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet? Okay. Good. So you know who we are. We're the shy, quiet, sort of wallflowers, right? Okay. Well, one of our CSJ characteristics is that we thrive on hard questions and attempt to ask them from alternative perspectives. Even the gospel that we'll be hearing today about the 10 lepers did not escape the CSJ minds. So, what did the other 9 lepers do when they didn't return to say thank you? Did they make a beeline for their loved ones who they could finally hug and help? Did they dedicate the rest of their lives passing gratitude forward and acts of kindness and gentleness for everybody? For the past 40 years, I have been steeped in the CSJ world, where answers to gutsy, seemingly totally unrealistic questions have released amazing abundance. I was around for conversations that began with, what? No healthcare access? What if we built a clinic system free to those who don't have any insurance and invite all the doctors and nurses to donate their time? Does that sound familiar? St. Mary's Health Clinics? Okay. And here's another one. Where is the worst neighborhood in the Twin Cities? How about if we rent a home there and then just live into how we might be able to care for the neighbors? Questions like these have led to exquisite solutions over the years that still today provide access to health care, safety, jobs, childcare, homes, food, education, and many more. As a CSJ, I have been lucky to serve as an administrator, educator, executive director, chair of boards, trustee, regent, entrepreneur, founder, visionary, and bottle washer. You can imagine the depth and breadth of questions that might arise in any of these positions. But I have to tell you, throughout my career, hands down, the question that I am most often asked is, are the sisters disappearing? The answer? There is incredible abundance on all fronts. CSJs are not so much focused on finding new people to be vowed members as we are about helping people to find their own sacred commitment. Given this, do you know that our St. Paul CSJ community is growing exponentially? Just in round numbers, we have 150 sisters, 150 lay members we call consociates, 150 St. Joseph workers who are young women who volunteer for a year but then spend the rest of their life close to us. And now we have agrégés who ask for a deeper and total commitment to God, and they take a private, non-canonical lifetime vow. Then there are the Friends of St. Joseph. These are individuals who feel the charism of the CSJs in them, and they have gathered together with our sisters, and they strengthen and support each other in their work and form a community as well, and our prayerful support for each other. Now recently, I started to realize all this. I mean, we just keep welcoming people, it's fantastic. But I started to think, if the St. Paul CSJs have tripled in size, what about our other Carondelet provinces and our vice provinces? And then I added the congregations of St. Joseph in our federation across the United States. And then the European Federation, the Indian Federation, the African Federation, the Australian Federation of CSJs. And think about all their associates. Now, you can't just stop with the CSJs. Think about adding to this group the Franciscans, Notre Dames, Benedictines, Dominicans, Mercies, Servites, Charities. You could probably list some more. It turns out there are 700,000 sisters around the world on the ground right now as we're sitting here. Yeah. Now imagine if we were all connected, and all of our associates, and all of the people who have come to say, we're in, we want to help. But let's just pretend each of those sisters only knew one person. Suddenly the network is 1.4 million. But we all know hundreds. So if you add that all together, you start getting into the tens of millions in a network for good. Given that we live in a global technological society, we really could connect all of us. So I have to tell you, I gathered a merry band of CSJ visionary types, and we began to ask courageous questions, just like our foremothers, about this gigantic network already in place. Could we actually shift the global narrative from despair, fear, and war to one of hope, equality, and peace? Sisters are already serving on the ground. They know the root causes to the poverty where they serve. They want a database of people. They want to know where the other sisters are. They want to share best practices, strategic partnerships, and resources. Well, we spent a year testing assumptions, gathering data, asking questions from all sides, and slowly a global 501c3 nonprofit run for and by sisters emerged called Sisters Rising Worldwide. Our mission, thank you. Our mission is to provide a technology platform and resources for sisters and their supporters to better address the critical key issues of injustice. I am currently serving as the president of Sisters Rising Worldwide and still the bottle washer. The secure technology platform will enable sisters to surface problems they face, share best practices, help seek financial resources, to help reduce and eradicate the tangle of root causes of poverty that they face. Now, in the past 1.5 years, Sisters Rising has made 3 extraordinary advances. 1, the secure technology platform has been designed and is ready for coding. 2, the American Refugee Committee. Anybody familiar with the American Refugee Committee? I thought you would be. They're now called Alight. They have become our first strategic partner. And 3, we have a fabulous public website. The platform that we're distributing among the sisters, we've given it the name, the Peace Room, as opposed to, yeah. We're on schedule to distribute the platform and train the sisters by early 2020. The American Refugee Committee, now Alight, and Sisters Rising Worldwide are piloting a project together in the most dangerous areas in El Salvador, where, of course, the sisters live and serve the people there. Alight had known the root causes underlining poverty and that they're like a tangle of knots. But what Alight did not know is that until they learned working with our sisters in El Salvador, is that at the center of all those knots is a sister with her head down, untangling the knots and trying to solve the problem. And they were sold on working with the sisters. In El Salvador, we found sisters provide a type of sanctuary where sisters and those they serve are the only ones who are safe in the gang-infested areas. We started a color movement that literally marks the contagious joy of the sisters and is beginning to move through the sisters throughout the world. The color movement is a big story and needs to be told another time. So I'm going to continue on here. Our public website is the place where we will be, where we advertise or show 15 to 20 programs that sisters are working in at any place around the world. And when you look, you'll see what is the root cause that they're trying to solve there with their work. So you'll see issues like human trafficking, gender inequality, gang violence, that kind of thing. You can discover in that website the impact of the sisters' work as well. Oh, and you can read about the color movement in the website, so do check it out. The Sisters Rising Worldwide board members continue to ask big questions. Our latest very inspired question is, what if we could find one donor per sister to contribute just a small monthly amount to help the sisters eradicate the source problems? Now, just one per one. So with help, we could do this. Given everyone's social media connections, it's only 700,000. What's to stop us? With our expanding and inclusive network of partners, colleagues, and beneficiaries, sisters have earned the trust of diverse populations because of the integrity and long-standing mission to serve everyone in need. The sisters are the most prolific movement of, for, and by women in the history of the world. I stand on a lot of shoulders. The fire that I have inside to build a better world is contagious. And your own fire in you as St. Joan of Arc member is contagious. Together, there would be no stopping us. Consider being an ambassador for Sisters Rising Worldwide. You know, maybe Jesus wasn't so invested in getting the thank you for healing the lepers, but rather in knowing that people were out there passing it forward. His love has a multiplier effect. They were being thanked. Jesus was being thanked over and over and over every time that the lepers, the healed lepers, went and spoke with somebody else. Please visit, excuse me, thank you so much for inviting me today. You're wonderful. And please visit our table in the back, and if you pick up my business card, you'll get the website on it. And I look forward to hearing the questions that you have after Mass. Thank you very much.